Hey there, welcome to another episode of our Sales Enablement video series. And today, we're going to be talking all about how to optimize sales content for maximum impact. Nowadays, there's content bombarding us from every angle. On WordPress alone, there are over 2.75 million blog posts published every single day. Google crawls and indexes around 80 billion pages a day. 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. So no wonder we're choosy about what gets our attention. Navigating the world of sales content can be a bit of a maze, right? Here's a fact for you. About 70% of content, according to SiriusDecisions, sits untouched. In a landscape shaped by sales enablement, product marketing, and learning development, striking the right chord with no content is no small feat. So how do you make sure your sales content actually gets attention and drives results? Well, stick with me, because in this video, we're going to break down how to create high-impact sales enablement content. First up, what exactly is sales enablement content? Simply put, it's information for either a sales rep or prospective customer to view, which provides them with a better understanding of your products and service. It's content that a sales rep uses during the sales process to convince a prospect of your product's value. You need different content for different stages of the buyer journey. A one-pager that's effective in the earliest stages of the buyer journey likely won't hit the right notes just before closing a deal. So a key part of sales enablement is mapping content to each part of the sales process. But how do you actually create great content? Let's begin by covering the two main types of sales enablement content: internal facing and external facing. Internal content is specifically for your sales team. The goal is to build their knowledge of your offerings so they can sell more confidently and consistently. It'll put your products and service into context and encourage them to imagine how the product could be implemented within a business. Internal content can take many forms. The classic examples include battle cards that provide answers to common customer questions and explain competitive differentiators, objection handling sales scripts that address common customer pushbacks, and short videos that keep training points front of mind. Side note, with our Pro membership plan, you can actually access our own tried and tested battle cards and sales script templates, ready to be tailored to your exact sales needs. But really, there's no limit to the shapes that internal content can take, as long as it can communicate its key message to reps effectively. When creating internal content, involve cross-functional teams to incorporate different perspectives, allowing for feedback and helping your sales team feel included in the process. And make sure each piece targets a specific problem for knowledge gap. Focus on solving one problem at a time, and you'll find more success than trying to cram every answer into one piece of content. So moving on to external sales enablement content, this is what your prospects see, but its aim is the same: to help your reps sell more effectively. The key with this type of content is to ensure it provides real value to your prospect. They'll probably have done research on your product already, so make sure anything you provide them isn't just repeating what they already know. This type of content includes assets that customers can take away to read or watch in their own time. Some examples include detailed industry reports, which offer insights that prospective customers can apply to their own work and back up the point reps already discussed in conversation. Explainer videos that allow your prospects to put your product or service into context and help them understand how it would benefit their company before you have further discussions. Case studies or testimonials that provide evidence and reassurance of the real-life value you can provide and have provided to previous customers. This kind of customer-facing content is most effective when it empowers them to make their own decisions with materials that educates, inspires, and entertains. So far, we've discussed what sales enablement content actually means and what to consider when creating a piece of content. Now you need the most important part, a content strategy. Think of the following steps as building blocks that help build up a strong, effective strategy. Auditing existing content. Audit your organization's existing content library regularly so you don't miss anything. And information is power. By tracking the content's performance, you can make adjustments and learn from what works. Develop processes for content creation. Your content creation must be long-term. As your organization inevitably grows and the sales landscape changes, you will have to create content that adapts accordingly. Training reps on how to use content. You can make the best content in the world, but if you don't train your sales team on how to use that content, it's useless. Train them how to use it strategically, situationally, and effectively, and you'll reap the benefits. All right, let's round things up with 3 key takeaways. Firstly, partner with sales when creating content. They know what prospects want to see. If you work alongside sales to create content, you're more likely to produce content that will see usage and that will be relevant to what sales is doing day in and day out. Secondly, give your sales teams context on how to use content. Explain the purpose and intent. This doesn't have to be complicated, but it should address questions your salespeople might have about the content, such as, what's the purpose of this content? What's the objective? How do you use this content? And finally, make sure content is relevant for sellers. Get feedback and track usage over time. Remember that not all content will be relevant to every prospect. Certain prospects will be more receptive to content than others, and your salespeople are intelligent enough to recognize that. So don't panic if every now and then your content isn't being used. And that wraps up our guide to creating sales content. I hope this gave you some useful tips and frameworks. Creating high-performing content takes work, but the impact on your sales process makes it so worthwhile. If you want to dive deeper on everything sales enablement, be sure to check out the other videos in this series, or join our community of fellow sales enablement professionals across the globe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.